Good evening. I'll just take you to the events. We all know that as of today, the investigation is being focused only on about 5-6 people. I'll take you back in time. As per the minutes of discussion signed between the government of Goa, the government of India and the Japan Bank on the 7th of June 2007, certain organizational structure was laid down. And in that, things were made clear that the highest authority in PWD would be the project head. Also, that the Secretary PWD and Principal Chief Engineer were the only two people authorized to sign and deliver the documents. Somewhere in 2008, the Goa PWD then set up 3 bodies, namely the State Level Executive Committee, the PWD Level Coordination Committee, and the Project Implementation Unit. These bodies were initially objected to by the JBIC, which was represented by Hidetoshi Irigaki. He had also objected to the formation of the Sewerage Infrastructure Development Corporation as an executing agency for sewerage works, since basically it was a deviation from the minutes of discussion. During the time, a bid evaluation committee was formed wherein the following members were on board. One was Vachasundar as the PCE, that is the Principal Chief Engineer. There was Chimulkar as the CE1, Anupam Kishore as Joint Secretary of DMU, AA Patil from SITC, who is still there now, V. Santanam from PWD, Mr. GM Naik Parikar, and also Shripad Naik, mind you, not the Ayush Minister, as Joint Director of Accounts. It was very clear that Jica review and concurrence was mandatory before finalization of each and every contract all along the way. And at that point in time, Jica was represented in India by Shinichi Yamanaka. We learned today that the CB, the crime branch, has summoned the Louis Berger Vice President, Mr. James McClung, all the way from the US to depose. We wonder whom they are trying to fool. The reason being that if they had to go through the files which they have confiscated, they have attached, they would have realized that Louis Berger was basically a part of a consortium, which also included NJS Consultants, Shah Consultants, and Nihon Suido as the lead consultant. We all know that Prasanna Shah of Shah Consultants has already deposed. What about the NJS representative at that time? Louis Berger at that time were represented by 2 associate directors. One was Sanjay Jindal and the other one was Ranjan Bajaj. This Ranjan Bajaj used to work for Tokyo Engineering. If you remember, Tokyo Engineering was also one of the bidders. He was working for them till 2008 and then he shifted over to Louis Berger. He worked in Louis Berger till 2014. Sanjay Jindal worked for Louis Berger from the year 2004 to the year 2012. Mind you, both these guys are Indians, easy to summon, and still in India as per their LinkedIn profiles. Also, during the time of the PMC consultancy issue, Michael D'Souza, who is the Joint Secretary now of Finance, was there that time, and Udipta Ray was the Secretary PWD. Why aren't they being summoned? They're just across the river Mandovi. Now getting back to the committees, the State Level Coordination Committee. It was led by the PWD Minister himself. Second was the Chairman of SIDL, who at that point in time was Ganesham Shirodkar, a very close associate of Churchill and absolutely controversial. There are scams which are related to him. And he stays in Margao, by the way. Then, once this government came in, the person to take that position was, of course, Mr. Sanjeev Desai, the treasurer of the BJP party for the past 15 years or more. We basically don't need to mention what is the primary duty of a treasurer of a national party, other than, looking at his interest. Then, on this SLCC were the Secretary Finance at that point of time was Mr. Tripathi, Secretary PWD was Udipta Ray, and a project director, again, Vachasundar and Chimulkar. Then, coming to the second committee, which was the Project Implementation Unit. There in that, Vachasundar was as PCE, Chimulkar was there, V. Santanam, A. Patil of SID, Jica experts, and also the PMC consultants and some other engineers. Kindly note that the crime branch stated that money was paid to favor Louis Berger. But if you go back, you will understand that Nihon Suido had won the tender and Louis Berger was just the consortium partner. Even to the extent that this Nihon Suido and NJS, both Japanese companies, had actually conducted the pre-investment study, that is the master plan and the feasibility report. Then what was the role of Louis Berger? Now, considering their history, it is evident that Louis Berger was included in the consortium because of their domain expertise of underhand dealings. And that actually puts the whole project under a cloud itself. So why hasn't the crime branch taken into consideration all of this and summoned each and every person that we have mentioned here? And we do not have the kind of files they are sitting with as of today. So we doubt whether they have even gone through those 35 files which they have seized. Also, what happened to the people who were supposed to have been the mediators and the receivers of the bribe money, as mentioned in some newspapers and channels, namely Valanka Alemao, second is Fatorda MLA Vijay Sardesai. We've learned that Vijay is basically gone on a trip to Canada, and Canada and the states are absolutely side by side. So I hope he's not the first person to meet Macklung and make some sort of a settlement before Macklung comes to India. There are also questions being raised in certain quarters about the withdrawal of Advocate Kirtani, that the whole thing is just a skit of an ongoing Louis Berger drama. The crime branch needs to probe even that. Now, yesterday and today, we have exposed a lot of facts which the crime branch needs to take cognizance of. But we still underline that it's only the CBI that can probe this case and bring to book the culprits involved. Let's not restrict this to a bribery issue. It is not. Let's look at it as a well-orchestrated scam involving countries, ministers of the Congress and the BJP, and governments at the center and the state level. Also, we cannot treat this case in isolation, as Assam too faces the same dilemma. We all know that Assam also has the same issue with the bribery thing. This basically is beyond the comprehension of the Goa crime branch. And since we Goans are the ones who have been cheated, we demand a CBI probe. Tomorrow, we will be getting some more glaring irregularities which will support our claim that Jica is a major scam and this CBI probe is a big sham. Thank you.